Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Dadas Show, coming to you from Best Western Hotel here in Upper Hill in Nairobi. I'm your host, Ashiko Mbune. Now, as our name suggests, the Dadas Show aspires to promote the spirit of sisterhood and solidarity amongst Kenyan women. And we do this by creating a safe and an open platform for women to discuss issues pertaining to their lifestyle, to their careers, to their health, to their families, and many other topics. Now, we don't just address those kind of issues, but we also take time to honor and to celebrate some formidable women who are taking strides and leaps and are representing women in the great stages. So, of course, one of them is joining us today. So, growing up in the Northern Rift, Dr. Jane Apetet witnessed and experienced firsthand how it feels, what are the challenges that girls in marginalized communities go through. We are talking early marriages, we are talking poverty, cultural practices, and of course, lack of access to education. And in that moment, she decided when she actually gets an opportunity, she will dedicate her life to ensure that the girls and the young women in marginalized communities, such as the one that she comes from, are definitely going to have access to such things as sanitary towels that can definitely hold them back from acquiring knowledge and gaining the skills that they need to be able to elevate their lives. So on this Trailblazer episode, we will have an opportunity to discuss with Dr. Jane Apetet what moves her, what aspires her, what inspires her to wake up every morning and dedicate herself to bettering the lives of the girls in Turkana. We'll also find out what her plans are, what are some of the projects that she's into, and of course we will celebrate her. As always, we want to hear from you at home. Reach us at KBC Channel 1 across all our social media platforms. And of course, you can reach me directly at Ashiko, the host, across all social media platforms. Tell us who we should be able to nominate, somebody who you would want to be seated here as another female trailblazer. Now, before we get into this conversation with our trailblazer of the day, let's take a look at the following feature.
The Ministry of Public Service and Gender described Trailblazer women as women who pioneered the gender equality movement in Kenya. They have held top government, non-government and international jobs, leaving footprints of commitment, distinction and success. They are readily available to mentor young women and girls to work hard, build confidence and pursue their dreams in transforming their lives and make significant contributions to their communities. On this Trailblazer series, we seek to acknowledge youth leadership, women leaders who have championed and expanded horizon in various subject areas such as education, politics, governance, sports, law and literature. They have inspired many in the cause of their campaigns and continue to contribute to nation building through peace efforts, diplomacy, arbitration, public policy reforms and community service, and as advisors in both public and private institutions. Tracing women's involvement in politics introduces Grace Monica Ketch Onyango. She was the first female mayor of Kisumu in 1965 after replacing Mathias Ondiek. She was popularly known as Nyabungu, meaning daughter of the bush. She achieved several firsts in post-independence Kenyan politics as the first female to climb up the ranks of the political system, defying cultural barriers. In 1969, Grace became the first female member of parliament in post-independence Kenya after she was elected to represent Kisumu Town constituency. After Grace Onyango, we had Ruth Habwe, Phoebe Aseo, Julia Ojiambo, Eda Gachukia, among others. Women currently account for 23.3% of parliament, including women representative. This is according to the United Nations Women Africa. The emergence of women in political leadership made them fight many barriers and obstacles compared to their male counterparts. They demonstrated how they navigated a male-dominated political landscape while working to attain elected positions. For Dadas Show, my name is Miriam Masava.
Welcome back. So if you're just joining us, this is the Trailblazer episode of Dadas Show, an episode where we dedicate and celebrate and acknowledge formidable women within this great nation who have taken leaps and are doing strides to empower women, to encourage women, to even pave the way for women of other generations to come after them. There are very many formidable women in our country. So today we have the opportunity of sitting with one such character. And her name is Dr. Jane Appetet. I will not get into details because I do not want to introduce her on her behalf. I'll give her the opportunity to tell us a little bit more about herself, her journey, and how she has gotten to where she is right now. So karibu sana, Dr. Jane. I also want to acknowledge and appreciate my wonderful audience and you at home for taking time each and every week to sit with us as we discuss contentious issues that affect women in this great nation. And as well, like this episode, to sit and celebrate women who are doing it big, women who are representing us in the spirit of sisterhood and solidarity. So to start us off, I know everybody's wondering, maybe others wamekuona, wengine wajakuona. Wacha nianze tu ndo nikupatie jukwaa ufanye nini, ujiintroduce we mwenyewe. So when we say Dr. Jane Appetet, who is Dr. Jane Appetet?
Thank you so much. First, I wish to appreciate for invitation to the show. This is powerful, from Turkana to Kenya. To tell my story. Dr. Jane Appetet, as you've just said, born from a small village called Kapedo, the famous Kapedo that is on papers on daily basis. I went to school at a school called Nginyang Primary in Tiati, then went to Margaret High School in Baringo, but my own place is Kapedo. This is a place whereby it has its own stories and challenges. And that is where I come from. And from the name, you'll just see there's a story behind it. Mm-hmm. I was born to two parents, a father and a mother, who had not gone to school. Mm-hmm. When you hear of marginalized, that's now where you start, there's no proper education. There's a lot of poverty, and people are away from the real development. Yes. So my parents had not gone to school. And I come from a family of 9. I was the only one who managed to go to school, being the second born. So I went to school through thick and thin because of the challenges. When you hear of a marginalized girl, you see a picture of a girl who goes to school angry. You see a picture of a girl who walks to school without shoes. You see a picture of a girl who goes to school without a future, yes, without knowing what will happen to her. Yes. You see a girl who is surviving the insecurity, especially from Kapedo. So being a Kapedian is a big challenge. Now that I was born to these parents who have not gone to school, it was impossible because they don't know what is education, the importance of education, why you should take your child to school. But thank God because of the church. The church came in as a savior. And it is the church that sponsored my education. Primary was, of course, was free, yes, but secondary you have to pay. So the church came in. I went through secondary, through the church, and then the program phased out. Yeah. Then the problem came again. So I finished Form 4 by God's grace. Then I went to university, joined university, being the only one in that family of 9. Who has gone to school. So I had seen people whose children had gone to school living a good life, living a soft life. They can have what they want. So I developed a mindset that I need to go to school to change my story, to change the story of my family, and to change the story of my community. So I pursued my education without seeing the background. My mama was a brewer. Local brews. That's what she used to make to get maybe 100 shillings. Sometimes you are given that brew to go to class. You go to class, you see 2 teachers instead of 1. So it's a funny story. Yeah. But all the same, this Jane, by God's grace, after pursuing my education, when the sponsors phased out, now I had to, you see, the world is so competitive. You cannot come with a Form 4 certificate. You want to compete in a job market where we have degree holders, we have people with masters and PhD. So now that in school we had that motivation there, that you need to pursue your education, you can be what you want through your education. We were told it is the best weapon to conquer the world. Yes. So I took the vision and moved with it. So by the time I was finishing Form 4, college life, I had to struggle to pay for my fees. Yes. Because already the parents have died. I've told you the story. I'll tell you the story of my parents. The parents have died. I'm there left alone with the other siblings. So I had to look for ways to survive to ensure that I get this education. So my university, I struggled to pay for myself because the sponsors have already phased out. So I struggled. I ensured that I went for the degree. I went for the master's using the small money that I get through the jobs that I got. And by the time I was going for my diploma, I had gotten a job with the CDF, Constituency Development Fund Office. I was the Constituency Office Secretary of the MP by that time. Yes. So I went for that job, then I paid for my master's. I pursued it, I finished. So after finishing, I got a job for 8 years. After 8 years, I was able to join the board of Kenya Power. Yes. As a director. That's now a national. That is to say, it doesn't matter your background. It doesn't matter what you go through in life. When you become focused in life, you pursue your dream, you can be what you want to be. Yes. So I came to that national level. That is top management at the board of Kenya Power. Then I remembered my sisters at home. Now that I'm the only one in that family with education, I had now to ensure that my siblings behind me get the same education. Yes. Because when you don't educate them, they become a burden to you. Of course. You'll be carrying that burden, and you see in marginalized community, the dependency syndrome is too high. Yes. Because you carry a lot of people behind you, your aunties, your uncles, your everything. So to offload the same burden, I had to ensure that the siblings behind me are getting education. Yes. And now being a leader, you don't need to be self-centered. You need to pursue even to help others. You see, the best thing you can do in this world is to leave a legacy that you've changed somebody's life. That is true. So I chose also to support the girl child. That's where now the dream of the girl child came. I knew this is Kapedo. This is how the girls are going through. There's a lot of challenges. Yeah. So because of poverty.
Just speaking on that, because I want us to follow that on. We have mentioned a few of the challenges. What are some of the key? You're a champion for girls, especially from Kapedo. What are some of the key issues and challenges that you have witnessed from even when you were growing up and even till date in your community?
Yes. So much. The first one is poverty. Imagine being born in a family of parents who have no education, no formal job, no business. The animals they had have been taken away due to insecurity, so they are just left vulnerable. So the first monster is poverty. And you see, when you look at SDG number 1, yes. 0, eliminating poverty. Yeah. And number 2 is 0 anger. Okay. You can imagine now, you don't have a job, so poverty is real. Because of no job, no source of income, so anger is real. Yes. You're suffering. And then number 3, quality education, quality health care. So all these goals you don't even achieve. So poverty is the main problem, the main challenge within the marginalized communities, because you just depend on this livestock. When drought comes, it sweeps. When insecurity comes, it sweeps everything. And you are left stranded, not knowing where to go. You cannot beg every day. You cannot be going to your neighbor's place every day. So that's where now the reality of survival for the fittest comes. Yes. You have to work hard to strive to do something at least to ensure you get 1 meal in a day. So the first challenge is poverty. And then the second challenge is the cultural one, whereby the girl child or a woman, culturally, in the African setting, a woman is there to be seen and not to be heard. If you watch all the meetings by our elders at home, the women normally stay back behind. Yes. And they don't talk because you have no say culturally. But I'm happy because of the government and the government policies that have come on matters gender equality, that we are given that chance as a woman to have a say in the society. And I've come to know an empowered woman has a say in the society, in the current society.
Yes, I think we need to give a round of applause. Because when we talk about empowering, one of the mantras for Dadas show is, you know, a woman with a voice is truly a powerful woman. Yes, we'll continue.
Once you are empowered, in the current dispensation, you can stand in that seat of Council of Elders that was not supposed to be for us.
Of course.
So the cultural challenge, the retrogressive cultures, is another challenge that is affecting these girls. Some families, now that like our parents, when they see you, they see an asset.
Of course.
Several cows, several camels, several goats.
We had 3 chickens inside there.
That is it. So the issue of education comes second.
Yes.
So that now brings the issue of early marriages. You can be given out at the age of 16 years or even 15. And that's why when you check at the enrollment of girls to boys, the one for girls is a bit low because of some of these cultural activities or cultural beliefs. So culture is also another challenge, but in the current dispensation, it is going down because people are embracing education. The government is pushing for education. We have schools now going to interior, even in Turkana. Things are starting to change. But during our time, you could have one school after maybe 100 kilometers. So the issue of walking long distance to get education was another big challenge. So poverty, cultural beliefs, early teenage pregnancies. Because of poverty, you get someone who cheats on you, tells you, I love you, and he gives you 100. You fall in love because of 100. Thereafter, pregnancy comes. That's why you find there's a lot of, in marginalized community, the rate of teenage pregnancy is so high. This is attributed to poverty. I have a story whereby I was taking my diploma. Then my mother came before she passed on. She said there was a soldier who came, an army man, just to say, you see, those ones, they had money. Those were the people who had a say in our villages. The soldiers, the teachers, the clinicians. So they come with a good package to this mama. I want to marry your daughter. And I've just finished Form 4, I've joined college. I told mama, no, this is impossible. Yes, it is written biblically you have to obey your parents, but there are circumstances you don't need to. Because once I give up on education, the entire family will be in problems. I told mama, I love you so much, but now for this, I cannot go. Wewe kunywa sukari ya wenyewe, nitalipa nikimaliza shule. But
usikatae.
So my mama looked at me like this, and then the church came. You see, the church supported me. The church came to my support, and then they talked to my parents, and they agreed. And that's how I survived the early marriage.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for highlighting some of the challenges that you experience. So how are you? Because you've said once your mission and vision was, first of all, to get the education, to get the knowledge, so that you can be able to bring along your family and also, in extension, the members of your community. So how are you addressing some of the challenges that you have mentioned?
Thank you so much. One, you see, you cannot work without government.
Of course.
You have to work hand in hand with the government. Education sector, because if I want to go to school, I have to go through the education offices or sector or the principals. So I network with the government offices to ensure that the dream that I have for these girls is achieved. So my dream is to see a Turkana girl breaking the ceilings, even beyond what I've done and what others have done. So I started a girls' initiative to ensure that those who dropped out of school, the teenage mothers, go back to school. I talk to them, encouraging them that yes, you've fallen, but falling once does not mean it's the end of you. You can rise up and proceed with your life. You can pursue your education. If it is hard, you can choose to do something with your hand so that at least you empower yourself. So I initiated that program of empowering girl child stroke women, both girls and women, and I do mentorship. I go to school. I started with the Capedo because that's where now the big problem is. You see, Kapedo, because of insecurity, it is enclosed. You cannot move, you cannot go anywhere, you are just within the village. You can imagine the challenge of being within one village, enclosed in the village. You can't go out, you don't have a neighbor. So everything happens within that village. And even the mindset become localized.
Of course.
So you have to start with the mindset of this girl at Kapedo, to tell them that your background will not deter you becoming what you want to be. You can still become what you want to be, despite being from Kapedo, or from Turkana, or from Samburu, or from Pokot. So in this initiative, I found out that one of the challenges that the girls experience, apart from poverty and those other ones, the issue of sanitary. A girl misses to go to school because of no sanitary towel. And you see, this is someone cannot even afford 100 shillings. So how do you assist? I get friends, I get well-wishers, we buy sanitary, then we visit the school. We speak to them on the importance of education, importance of keeping yourself safe in the world that we are in, and then you provide them with sanitary towels. So we dubbed our initiative, No Girl Should Miss School Because of Sanitary Towels. So every time we need to go, we appeal to friends, buy us 1 box, 5 boxes, we take to various schools.
Yes.
And I've reached over 500 girls.
Wow.
There was a time I did a workshop of around 1,000 girls within one setting. I ensured all the sub-counties within Turkana come. We mentored them through the Primary School Aids Association. We mentored them, then we gave them the sanitary towels. And I believe you cannot miss one who will take that vision.
Yeah.
So, and on the matters teenage mothers, I have several who have gone up to college. Because I talked to them, yes, you dropped out of school, but you can still continue. So a few of them accepted, sorry, a few of them accepted, and people are in problems. Women are carrying a lot of problems. People are depressed. In fact, the issue of mental health must be put priority, must given priority. Because of poverty, because of the problems you are going through, you've been impregnated, you don't have where to go, the stigma. And you say with pastoralists, once you get pregnant, the stigma, it's terrific. So the stigma is there. So now you it's the end of me. So we need champions to talk to these girls that is not the end of life. It doesn't matter whether you have 2 children or 1, you can still go back to school. In fact, I have one who was 4. He went to school, he went to Form 1. 2022, she did, 2021, she did Form 4, and then she vied for an MCA in 2022. Yes.
Actually, speaking of MCA, let's move to that. Because you did vie for a senatorial position. You know, what inspired that decision? Because, you know, I'm thinking about it and I'm thinking, wow. Because most of the ladies that we found, and we hosted quite a number of them, especially in 2022, which was the election year, are vying for positions such as, just the MCA, the women's rep. Now, senatorial in an area that is predominantly male. You know, what inspired that, and tell us that journey.
Thank you so much. It was one of the toughest journey to go. One, having come from a male-dominated society where patriarchy is real. So, and this position, since the inception of the world, there's no woman who has ever even vied for male-dominated seat. Now Jane comes. One, they look at me, what does this young girl want? Second, they tell you, you have your seat which is called women rep. And I told them, I have a bigger picture. One, I told them the Constitution does not limit us as women. You can be what you want to be, even becoming a president. In fact, I was in the Miss President show. if you show me. We went for that Miss President show. So I became the Miss President for Turkana because I have a big dream. So my vying as a senator was one, to advocate for policies that create safe space for women and girls from the marginalized community and the entire nation.
Yes.
And to become a voice of the voiceless. Thirdly, to encourage a Turkana woman or any other any woman from the marginalized community that you can be what you want to be.
Yes.
And also at the Senate level, you have a higher ground. You have that power. You have the capability. I'll be having the network to assist in a bigger capacity than being an MCA.
Of course.
An MCA is just within your locality, and your powers is within your jurisdiction of the ward. But as a senator, it's a national figure. You can advocate for issues that can affect Turkana and the entire nation.
Yes.
So I said, because we have other MCAs, let me go for this senatorial. If I get, I'll advocate for safe policies for women. Because there's a lot of SGBV in Turkana. You see, pastoralists fighting is not a big deal. So there are women who are suffering. There are also men who are suffering. So you need to create policies that safeguard all these parties from oppression and from suffering. So that is my dream.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
And so now, what are some of the challenges? Because you've mentioned about being in a patriarchal society, but what are some of the other challenges that, you know, as you were vying for that position?
Good, thank you. Well, I want to echo what Senator for Uasin Gishu, Senator Mandago said, usiweke siasa kwa
roho.
Weka kwa mapafu unapumua inaenda. So, kwa sababu najua nini iko na challenges yake. Sasa imagine wewe ni mama na hapa pote governors ni wanaume, MPs ni wanaume, senators wanane ni wanaume. Ni wewe peke yako. Turkana County is 77,000 square kilometer. It's like Canada. It's a country in itself.
Yeah.
It's huge. Therefore, wewe mama, anaitwa Jen, na kagari yake kamoja, unang'ang'ana na wanaume, wale wako na malori, wako
na makonvoy,
wako na wajamama, wanachunga hawa kwa karibu. So, I'm just bringing this to bring the challenge.
Yeah.
The first challenge, politics is expensive. Women, economically, are not fit because of their status in the society. You see, the society looks at us as homemakers, watu wa kuzaa watoto tu nyumbani, child bearers,
yes.
Wakufagia nyumba. Hapana, time has come, we need to change the story.
Yes.
Beside kuchunga nyumba, beside kuangalia mzee, beside kupika chakula, we can be senators.
Of course.
We can be governors. We can be presidents. And I'm happy because the president of Kenya said that if karibuni we can have a deputy president as a woman.
Of course.
Na naona tunaenda pale, the future is feminine. Tunaona tuko na Martha
I
Koome.
love that.
Martha Koome yako.
Yes.
Si ana represent.
Yeah.
Alafu hata deputy
Yes.
ni mama. Juzi tena Law Society of Kenya wamechagua mwanamke.
Wamechagua.
Mambo sio mbaya, hata Amerika unaona Kamala Harris, si ni mama. So women, we are coming. So the challenge
I like that
this,
the future is female.
Yes.
Yes, proceed.
Thank you so much. So challenge moja ya kwanza, fedha. Fedha, finance. In fact, I'm telling people, so long as you will not empower women financially, we still have a long way to go.
Yeah.
Still have a long way to go because you are competing with your male counterparts who have money, who are business guys, and then these guys, they go for their big boys meeting, wanajichangia pesa, na sisi wamama hata hatuna forum ya kuchangiana pesa. They come fully loaded against one woman who is Jen, Apetet, or any other person. So financial challenge is one of the most difficult one for women who want to vie for senior positions. You don't have money. And in politics, posters need money.
Yeah.
You need to fuel your vehicle. You need to sleep in a place. You need to eat. Do you know, we went to places to Lilala and Jabaka and I'll be dying the next day. I slept for 2 days because I've gone to a place where there's no shop, there's no center around. Yeah. Whatever I had in the car is finished. Amazing. No network, Lodwa is around 400 kilometers. Now I was telling God, have mercy on me. Basi unajua kuna mtu anaweza itisha chopa na inaleta chakula.
Hata ndo nilikuwa karibu kusema kuna wale watapiga simu saizi waletewe.
Wanaletewe tu.
Hata hawalali huko.
Sasa huyu pastoralist anabeba boksi yake ya biscuit na mkate ikiisha kwa njia, neema ya Mungu ikusaidie mbele. So, but I'm happy the way our president is advocating for inclusion of women.
Yes.
Unaona hata kwa cabinet ameweka wamama wengi. We are coming up. Kenya is speaking.
Yes, yeah.
Kenya is speaking. So, kando na fedha, the issue of stereotype. Stereotype. Hatari. Watakutungia maneno mpaka unasikia kama utatoroka kwanza. Nyinyi mnajua, si nyinyi mnakuwa supporters.
Yes.
Iko changamoto. Hata mwingine atakutusi unasikia kama utachukua nguo ufunike hivi. Nataka kuambia vijana wetu wale wananisikiza, tusiwe wakutusi hata wa mama. Hana tusi mama yako kwa campaign. Ukiniona unipea kura ama usinipe, waachana naye aende. So there's a lot of stereotype. There's a lot of hooliganism. And that is why many women fear even to vie for these seats.
Of course.
When they see the arena, you just get scared. So but mimi najua I'm a pastoralist, tumezoea shida. Nikasema wacha niingie mbele iwe vile itakuwa. So kando na stereotype kuna hiyo issue ya pesa. Ya tatu, uninformed voter. Voter ambaye hajielewi. I've come with my good policies, good manifesto. And of course, I have some things I've done. I've already assisted girls going to school. I've been doing so many things. I've been advocating for peace. Do you know, they don't see the works you've done.
Of course.
They see the lies that you are being told now. They see the 100 shilling that this other person is bringing. And you see, they bring the 1 shilling and they disappear for 5 years. You've let somebody who is able to help you and your children and the generation to come.
Yeah.
So I think there is need for a lot of civic education to the voter. And it has to be done mapema. Mostly inaletangwa nyuma.
Inaletwa on the final year. Election year ndo watu wanaanza kufundishwa.
Hakuna mtu anasikianga hiyo kitu sasa hiyo.
Hakuna mtu sasa anasikia, kila mtu anatafuta pesa ya campaign.
So the civic society,
Yes.
the government, the NGOs that want to do this civic education, start it now. If you have many women and young men, even young men are suffering. Vijana wachaguliwi sana. Anaambiwa ni mtoto. So tuko line moja na vijana. So it has to start now. Civic education for the voter, it has to start early. Wakipatia KBC pesa, watoe hiyo maelezo kila siku. Tutakuwa na wale wanaosikia na watafunguka akili.
Haki waambie. Waambie, si mmesikia kabisa. Thank you so much, madam. That it's so evident right now as we sit and we listen to you why you're definitely the trailblazer of this Dadas show episode. So we're going to take a very, very small break. I hope everybody's learning something or 2 or 10. And then we'll come back with the questions for Madam Jane Appetite. Don't go far away. Welcome back to the second part of this Trailblazing Dadas show episode. And the Trailblazing episode and the editions will be running, sporadically. When you give us an idea or you tell us of which ladies in your communities, in your church, in your workplace, that you feel are definitely taking strides in empowering women or are actually setting the pace for the generations to come. So we are looking to celebrate and acknowledge these wonderful ladies by dedicating a whole episode to them where we'll sit and just get to know them. Like we have been getting to know Madam Jane Appetite, who happens to be a very, very hilarious person, actually. You know, watu wakapenda wanafaa kujua vile nini, we ni mfani. So as always, we look forward to hearing from you. So reach out to us at KBC Channel 1 or on my personal pages at Shiko the Host across all social media platforms. So remember, you are tuned into the Trailblazer episode of Dadas Show. We are now at the question and answer session, which happens to my very favorite part, where we get an opportunity to give out a word of encouragement, to give out questions, feedback to our lovely panel. So to start us off, we have Naomi.
Thank you very much for this chance to ask a question. I'm so amazed on the determination you vie for the senator position, and I've seen people struggle to raise funds for the MCA position. You see the scope of the campaign. How did you manage to get the funds to go around Turkana County for the campaigns?
Yes, madam.
Thank you so much. Just as I had said, that lack of finance is a major challenge, especially for women. You see, my meager finances cannot support the entire process. One, the distance within the county is big because of the position. Covering 77,000 square kilometers is not a small thing. So, and I had told you that Turkana County, statistically, the poverty level is high.
Yes.
So even getting support from your own family, it's a big deal. And having come from a family where I was the pioneer of education, it's another big challenge. So what happened? First, you have to be determined. That's the first thing. Secondly, it's about risk taking.
Yes.
You take risks. So I had a few friends, very few of them. In fact, we reached the date for election before I had covered the entire area. Because you have to move, you have to have finances, you have to finance your car, you have to do a lot of errands. So it was the major challenge. Otherwise, if I would have been empowered, my friend, I would have given them a day. Because kama ni maneno siiko hapa. Si maneno yako. Na kama ni masomo siiko. Kama ni kupiga siasa siiko. So pesa tu ilikuwa big challenge because now you cannot move. Hata Biblia nasema money answered many things, ama inasuluhisha shida nyingi. Na I just want to, itakuwa unfair nisipo echo my boss, the First Lady of Kenya. She has a program on women economic empowerment and financial inclusion. So it's my dream that before the next election, any woman who is vying should be financially empowered. Because we were given education by FIDA, Canadian Embassy supported us on matters education. So I went to the field, an informed senator. But now, financially, it was zero. So the major hurdle was finance. And this one, I had no source of finance because for one, I had no sponsors. And most NGOs, they don't give funds. They don't give cash. They only educate you. You're given knowledge, don't do this, know the election offenses, this is the strategy, you need to do this. But now when it comes to Kenya money, and all of us understand how it works. So without money, you will not move. So that was my main obstacle. I had no source of finance. I only used what I had and a few friends, very few of them. So that's a big challenge to all of us as women. I'm just happy because of the G7. The G7. Have you heard of the G7? Yes. A strategy by the women governors. Yes. I think they should come sit and see how they can empower these women who want to vie in various positions. Mentor them and also devise a strategy to ensure we have money. A kitty to support the women.
A kitty to support the women. Yes. Yeah, that's actually something that is very good, and we will definitely explore that. I did encounter the G7, and I thought to myself, this is actually a wonderful idea, especially for just women, putting a kitty aside so that when push comes to shove and when the day comes, if the women are able to vet and see that this woman, by the way she has what it takes, it's just the finances that are not helping her out, they can definitely inject something into her campaign. So that's definitely one way that women are raising funds to vie for public office. So asante sana Naomi. Our next question is from Margaret. Margaret, karibu sana.
Thank you for the opportunity. And listening to your story, first I would like to congratulate you for the great work that you are doing. The Lord bless you. But my question is this. Listening to the entire story, it was so selfless. So my question is, what is in need for Jane? And are you still planning to vie again? And if planning to vie again, what position? Thank you.
You see, the best legacy you can leave behind is by positively impacting other people's lives. As a leader, you need to become selfless. That's why you find my story is more about people and not myself. Therefore, because I have this dream, you see, once a dreamer, always a dreamer. You don't need to, because I never succeeded, we say, sieti nilianguka, haikuja, so I'm coming back kuijaza in the next election, God willing. I have to pursue the dream because it's God-given. Because I've seen by the virtue of what I've been doing, that proves to you that you are a leader that needs to be there for others. And as a leader, you don't need to sit down. You have to pursue that dream. If God finds it well to give me in the next election, we say thank you. Even if it will be going for 10 times till I get. So long as the grace to live is there, we'll still pursue. Yeah.
Wow. Let's give her a round of applause. Siji tutaenda kapedo kuvote. But I definitely, it's so inspiring. And you know, because you have been able to tie in your own personal ambition and what's in it for you with the work that you do. And I think that is, I think in one word, passion. So I think when you're passionate about what you do, then you never have to work a day in your life. So thank you so much for that. That's really, really inspirational. Our next question is from Beth.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Jane, congratulations. It's a battle that you fought. Now, coming from a marginalized community, the challenges you've told us about the girls in your community, what projects do you have for those girls? How many girls have you mentored so far from the projects that you've had at hand?
Okay, thank you so much. For real, we are doing projects. We started a long time ago and we are still pursuing. And over 1,000 girls have benefited from our mentorship program. And around over 10 have finished school, literally finished Form 4 and others have gone to college. Tangible evidences. You see, it's only that you cannot mention names because of yeah, you cannot mention names, but they're there. When their time comes, when they want to give the story, it will be good for them. So, teenage mothers, in the recent, last year, up to December, June up to December, I took 6 of them for tailoring life skills. We also do life skills because there's a problem with our Kenyan youths and everybody, any other person. All of us are fighting for white-collar jobs. When the field is so small for to accommodate all of us, we cannot be employed all of us. So I took an initiative, now that I'm a champion of the girl child and these other women, to introduce some life skills. We took them for tailoring, so that at least they can do something. They can help maybe do repair, do a skirt, do uniform, and they went the entire process and accomplished. So now the only challenge I have with these girls, these teenage mothers, getting them the machines. But the skills they have already attained. So we are planning to have another intake of around 6 or 7, so that at least by the end of 2022, we have a number of women who without a job can get something for their children and can support their families. So we do sanitary, life skills training and mentorship program for these girls. Yes.
So thank you so much for that. And we definitely hope that if there's anybody who's watching at home, and you definitely know how you can be able to lend us a helping hand. Remember, these girls have the skills. What they may lack is the equipment. It could be used, it could be new. Kindly reach out to Dadas Show and we will reach out to Dr. Apatet and she will be able to help and empower these young women. So we are counting on you, we are counting on society so that we can bring forth a better society. And our next question is from Madam Priscilla.
Madam Jane, thank you so much for what you're doing for our girls. Now my question is, what platform do you use when you want help from Kenyans and other people from the other countries, when you want to support your girls, especially like with sanitary towels and soaps and stuff, so that if a well-wisher can reach you when you're going out there and at least support you in your program? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Cecilia, for your question. For real, there are so many vulnerable girls that we need to reach. And because our group is legally registered with the government, we decided to have a till number so that it makes it easier for us to be supported by whoever wants to support, well-wishers and friends. Therefore, our group is called Turkana Peace and Development Initiatives, self-help group, registered. And our till number is, you go to your M-Pesa, the business number is 400-200, and the account number is 889360. It will just go direct to the account of the group, and then from there we can plan and see how many girls we can reach, which area, which sub-county as per our plan.
Thank you so much. We definitely will share those details on our socials so that you can be able to reach out and assist, these vulnerable girls. And our next question of the day is from Madam Dora.
Dr. Jen, I must commend you for the good work you're doing, mentoring the girls in your community. When in your story, in fact, I'm just amazed by your story. In your story, you said you come from a family of 9, and you said you're the only one who pursued in your education. So my question is, when you are pursuing with your education, where were the other siblings, and how do they feel about you at the moment?
Thank you so much, Doris, for your question. It's a tough one. Having said that it was a pastoralist family, our firstborn never went to school. She was married early, so I'm the second born. The rest come after me. So after finishing school, I managed to get a job. With my small salary, I took the rest of them to school. Apart from 2 who are also married early, the rest went to school, and they are working now. So they call me Mama. It is so sad that my dad and mom died before they finished their school. So I became their mama and their dad. I ensured that they've gone to school up to college, and they are working now. So I offloaded the burden off my shoulders. So they are married and they are working.
Congratulations on that. I like the way you offload. So you empower this one, let her empower her sibling, and the way. So I'm sure they were really, really happy for the opportunities you got. And our final question of the day is from Priscilla.
Thank you so much, Ashiko. I want to thank you, Jen, for the good job that you're doing for our girls and the passion that you have for the community. Now, my question was, can you just tell us a bit about your family and how you cope between the family, the projects, and the politics? Thank you.
Thank you so much for your question. As a woman, it's the toughest thing to balance between work, politics, and family. One, what I learned in this political journey, your family is critical. Your family should be number one. Because once everything has been done, you failed, there's a lot of sarcasm and stereotypes. Where you find refuge is your family. So I'm a mother of three girls, beautiful girls, who are in school. It's one of the challenges that women are facing through. You are in the field for a whole week, your girls want to see you. They are even calling, Mama, when are you coming? You're like, God, does this kid understand what I'm going through? But still, you still have to create time for them. You just ensure that there's time, you don't go out. You be there for them, listen to them. And the current generation, I have my small girl, my last born. She normally says, Mama, we need to have a girl's talk. Ukisikia hivyo, there's a question nataka kuuliza. That tells you they need you, they need me. So I had to create time for them sometime, but it's little time, especially for politics. You are in the field almost karibu 3 weeks. So after that, you come briefly, you create time for them, talk to them, make them understand. Because if you don't make them understand, they'll blame you for the rest of your life. So in whatever capacity, be it an office work or politics or wherever you are, create time for your family and make them understand that your job is so engaging sometimes that you cannot even pick a phone, that you cannot even be available. So, and it is part of the mental problems that even politicians suffer. It's only that we don't talk. There's a lot of depression because you are missing your family, you are missing, the voters are crying, you don't go for them, so you are in the middle of nowhere. Depressed at home, the voters are looking for you, so you have to be strong, avail yourself for your family as well, despite the fact that you are a politician, and it's a matter of risk-taking. You've taken risk in both ends, your family and this one, because sometimes in politics it's market, they can come for your family. So you have to be very strategic to ensure your family is safe. You are there for your family. You create time for your family. And to make it, though it's a sad thing, before this exact day when we were voting, that was on 8th. Yes, on 8th. Yes. The father to my girls went to vote in a different sub-county because as a senator I had to vote at the headquarters. The news after election at around 6 is that, hey, the father of the kids was found dead in the house. You can imagine the depression you go through. You've lost an election, the father has gone. Hey, so being a woman is tough. You need to have shock absorbers. I'm bringing that point to tell you that you cry, then you develop some resilience, then you bounce back, and here I am.
She's given us a little bit of a shocker right there at the end. We're still trying to catch, but we will definitely, interact a little bit more.
2023, the president of Kenya recognized me as a heroine, as a shuja. I was fitted with that medal. Yes. So God rewards your efforts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm a proud Kenyan. So despite the fact it is challenging, but you have to press on. Unagongwa, unamuka, you move. So it's a story.
Wow. Priscilla, I hope your question has been answered in terms of how she does it. I'm completely in awe of you. And for that reason, I will actually give you this opportunity to give us, give a piece of advice to a young girl who's in Kapedo, who's in Samburu, who's in Pokot, who is watching you right now and is thinking, she looked like me, she sounds like me, how does she do it? Just give out a piece of advice and then we will wrap up the show.
Thank you so much. My piece of advice to that pastoralist child, that marginal child girl child from marginalized community is that do not let your surrounding or your background deter you from pursuing your dream. You can be what you want to be. Despite your surrounding, despite the challenges, you can be what you want to be. Be focused, be a risk taker, and pursue your dream.
Wow. And on that fabulous note, we have come to the end of today's Trailblazer episode of Dadas Show. We want to thank you all for tuning in, for my guests here, for the crew at KBC, myself, Ashiko Mbune, my location partner, Best Western Upper Hill here in Nairobi. We wish you all an inspiring, trailblazing week. Be sure to reach us across all social media platforms at KBC Channel 1 and at Ashiko, the host. Until then, we'll have to love you and leave you. Until then, bye-bye.